Hello and welcome, as I promised when I made the unboxing video of the Minchiate Tarot, that I will do the longer, more insightful video about this deck because it is different, and maybe there are people that are not familiar with this deck, as this deck is out of print and hard to find. So I can show you what can be found in this deck of cards. It has this nice box and the cards are here. The deck contains 97 cards, and it is said in the book that in order to allow readers to recognize the arcana more easily, we placed the Roman numeral that distinguishes each triumph on the cards that originally had none, enabling a more spontaneous interpretation. In fact, this deck is the only one on the modern panorama of tarot that, in addition to being sought after for its historic and collector's value, can also be used as classic tarot by exploiting the additional cards to create a more profound or detailed understanding than would be possible with a traditional deck. So, the Fool. Letting your instincts guide you when necessary. Acting without reasoning, saying or doing things are not in keeping with common sense. Unsuccessful results. So each triumph card has two meanings, one positive and one negative. None of the arcana, in fact, is exclusively favorable or unfavorable. Interpretations should be evaluated in keeping with the context of the situation. So, letting your instincts guide you when necessary is the positive side, and acting without reasoning, saying or doing things are not in keeping with common sense. Unsuccessful results is the negative aspect of this card. The Juggler as the Magician, acting with judgment, moving into action and obtaining positive results. Or not acting when necessary, acting haphazardly. The Grand Duke as the Empress, physical beauty that goes hand in hand with education and intelligence, or superficial beauty with a mediocre intellect. The Emperor of the West, an iron will, capacity to impose oneself to obtain the desired results. Incapacity to make decisions, lacking in power, in reverse. The Emperor of the East as the Hierophant, wisdom combined with goodness and understanding. And the negative aspect of false wisdom and hypocrisy. The sun came out, and the Lovers, choosing the right path, or incapacity to choose or choosing the wrong path. Temperance, talent for mediating, for reaching compromises, or for adapting situations. Or inability to adapt. The strength, acting through logic, ignoring one's own instincts, or blindly following one's instincts and failing in the results. Justice, objectively evaluating persons and situations, or making judgments that are too arbitrary and based on invalid convictions. I'm holding the cards like this because sun is overexposing them. The Wheel of Fortune, knowing how to profit from a positive situation or not knowing how to grasp opportunities. The Chariot, acting rapidly, confidently, and with perseverance, or inability to act, assuming errant behaviors. The Hermit, evaluating things before acting, or making hurried decisions that lead to errors. The Hanged Man, capacity to support negative situations without betraying one's own principles, loved ones and acquaintances, facing necessary sacrifices stoically, calmly, or betraying without remorse, incapacity to deal with that sacrifices. Death, a positive change in a situation, or a negative change in a situation. The Devil, applying all one's energies and using strategies for the common good, or acting fraudulently, deception of a sexual nature. House of God as the Tower, being capable of dealing with moments of crisis. And reversed or negative aspect is very negative situations. The Hope, having hope, or giving up hope that a situation may be able to change at all. Prudence, acting cautiously or acting rashly. Charity, no, I'm sorry, faith, acting according to a precise and correct realization, or pretending to be something other than one truly is. Charity, sharing resources and knowledge with others, having a good heart, knowing how to forgive, or not knowing how to share what one possesses or knows, not having a good heart. Fire, to become inflamed at the right moment and for the right reasons. And the negative aspect, to become inflamed for no reason, acting out of malice. Turning the page because I'm reading it from the book. The Water, finding a remedy or taking action, without manifesting aggressive behaviors, being a peacemaker, or failing to intervene to calm conflicts. Earth. Evaluate persons, things, and situations for what they really are, and acting accordingly, or fantasizing on inexistent possibilities, letting oneself get carried away by enthusiasm. I am forced to hold the cards really like this. Okay, the air, living while seeking to avoid problems, a spiritual quest, or facing situations absent-mindedly and superficially. Now for the Zodiac cards, and the first is Libra, acting correctly always and anyway, and having a talent for stabilizing situations, or moving with indecision, being dependent on the judgment of others, fear of being judged. Virgo, being orderly, paying attention to details, possessing the right skills, and being educated. Or reverse, always feeling dissatisfied, constantly attempting to reach an unattainable level of perfection. Scorpio, possessing an extraordinary capacity to understand one's own inner processes and those of others, and then act accordingly. Or demonstrating excessive vindictiveness and jealousy, cultivating power in a destructive manner. As you maybe noticed, the zodiac cards are somewhat actually a short from the signs, sorry, signs, what they have, uh, and how they are in reversed or in a positive aspect, because we all have the reversed side in us also, and some people are like a reversed side of the zodiac sign. Okay, Aries, having the courage and audacity to feel like a knight facing the most arduous challenges, or assuming an impulsive behavior, insisting on battling with windmills. Capricorn, possessing great physical endurance in facing problems, capacity to restore order thanks to a sense of practicality, or being limited in thought, being avid or miserly. The Sagittarius, possessing an extraordinary mind, succeeding in rising above the commonplace, or excessive idealism that leads to accumulating notions without being able to build on experience. The Cancer, dealing with situations with tenderness and sentiment, or being too sensitive, wallowing in self-criticism, stifling one's own rational judgment. The Pisces, seeing things from a spiritual frame of mind, limiting excessive materialism, or getting lost in chaotic situations having to resort to outside assistance that results in slowing down the process of attaining one's own objectives. Aquarius, assuming friendly and altruistic attitudes, or presenting oneself as being overly eccentric and rebellious, losing a sense of reality. The Leo, proving oneself to be charismatic and generous, or tendency to excesses caused by an overwhelming desire to stand out, being gullible and overly naive. The Taurus, being loyal, preserving in actions, appreciative of the harmony and beauty of the world, or a propensity to ultra-conservatism, assuming attitudes of close-mindedness, appearing furious. Gemini, applying one's own intelligence, or demonstrating an eternal adolescent character, appearing overly fickle and undecided. Now, the star, optimism, loving the world, nature and art. Or pessimism, a lack of realizations of desires. The moon, having clear ideas, learning from past errors, being constant. Our negative side, not having clear ideas, failure to learn from past errors, getting upset over nothing. The sun, capacity to see beyond clear ideas, having a sunny disposition, or letting oneself to be dazzled and lacking ideas. The world, complete success, capacity to understand things even if situations are not clear, or total failure, inability to understand. And trumpets, angel or judgment. Precise evaluations of people or situations according to actual knowledge of the facts, or are an erroneous evaluation of things and people, misjudgments. My hands get tired holding the cards up like this. Okay, and now we are in the minor arcana and the suit of swords. The meanings of the minor arcana proposed were adapted to Minchiate and can be different from those that a modern cartomant is accustomed to using. For this reason, you are invited to use the meaning you believe best suited for this situation. And Ace of Swords, painful situation. Two of Swords, painful situations with no way out. Three of Swords, pain that pierces the heart. Four of Swords, suffering that induces prayer. Five of Swords, giving up on resolving painful situations. Six of Swords, heading out on a new life path while burdened with past negativity. Seven of Swords, lightly taking on responsibilities that call for sacrifices. Eight of Swords, impossibility in understanding how to resolve dramatic situations. Nine of Swords, worrying excessively about situations that can be resolved. Ten of Swords, maximum pain, following which will have to be stagnation or a comeback. Knave of Swords, a young man who causes suffering. Knight of Swords, a man who vehemently inflicts pain. I'm not sure if I said the word right. Haven't seen it ever. Queen of Swords, an authoritarian woman who causes pain as a means to an end. And the King of Swords, an authoritarian man who causes pain without having to justify his own actions. Now, the staves as problematic situations, and the swords were painful situations. And you notice the word pain in every card. Ace of Staves is problematic situation. Two of Staves, knowing how to solve one's own problems but not having the resources required to do so. Three of Staves, seeking to understand how to resolve problems. Four of Staves, problems momentarily ignored. Five of Staves, struggling against persons known to create problems. Six of Staves, assuming the responsibility to solve problems shared with others. Seven of Staves, unexpected problems of a fraudulent nature. Eight of Staves, unexpected problems created by strangers. Nine of Staves, trying too hard to resolve their various problems. And Ten of Staves, success in solving problems after a difficult struggle. Knave, a young man who creates problems. Knight of Staves, a man who creates problems with a certain outburst. Queen of Staves, an ambiguous woman who creates problems. And the King of Staves, an authoritarian man who creates problems without having to justify his actions. So a problem creating suit of staves. Now, cups as the positive situations. Ace of Cups, a positive situation, pleasant situation. Two of Cups, exchange of gifts, affection and love. Three of Cups, a gratifying situation. Four of Cups, being satisfied with what one has. Five of Cups, resentment for something desired that was not obtained. The fox and the grapes story. Six of Cups, giving affection, love, or something else with no ulterior motive. 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 Seven of Cups, acting suddenly to obtain positive results. Eight of Cups, giving up goods of any nature. Nine of Cups, reveling among beautiful things. Reveling among beautiful things. If you are, and I'm assuming you are familiar with the Rider-Waite, you can see the resemblances here already. Not on the suits of staves and swords so much, but here there has been few. And the Ten of Cups is being happy in the family, at work, and in friendships. Knave of Cups, a young woman offering gifts. Knight of Cups, a man who offers positive opportunities regularly. Queen of Cups, an authoritarian woman who acts out of affection as an end to a means. And King of Cups, an authoritarian man who offers gifts, affection, love, and help without having to justify his actions to anyone. And now the sun is gone and it's raining. And the cards went dark. But you can see this is how they actually look. Okay, and the last suit is the suit of coins. Happy situations, and the ace of coins is happy situation. Two of coins, not choosing between two beautiful situations. Not choosing between two beautiful situations. Three of coins, discussions on how to continue and mark positive situations. Four of coins, being possessive, staying close to people or positive situations. Five of coins, isolating oneself in one's own favorable condition. Six of coins, giving to others while thinking one's own generosity. Seven of coins, reaping the fruits of one's own endeavors. Eight of coins, construct one's own future. Nine of coins, being surrounded by wonderful situations. And the coins are not persons anymore, but birds. And ten of coins, being very happy in the family, among colleagues, or in law. Knave of coins, a young woman who creates situations that bring happiness. Knight of coins, a man present for a long time, who offers love, availability, and great affection. Queen of Coins, an authoritarian woman who intentionally inflicts pain. And King of Coins, an authoritarian man who offers beautiful things without having to justify his actions to anyone. And now it's sun and the rain. Beautiful Nordic hemisphere weather, spring. We have this kind of weather throughout whole year sometimes. Okay, this was the Minchiate Tarot, and these there are spreads. I'm going to read you this one. That you can use only Minchiate style decks, which has the 22 traditional arcana, the 12 zodiac arcana, the 4 archaeological, theological virtues, 4 elements, and the 40 numerical cards and the 16 court cards. Divide the deck into the 6 parts. Then take the deck of court cards and choose a card. The card selected plays the role of signifier or the card that represents the current and the situation. For selecting this card, the brief scheme below can be used and structured accordingly. If the question of the current concerns work, use suit of wands, feelings, suit of chalices, money, suit of pentacles, and something abstract for suit of swords. If the problem of the querent is dealing with about learning, use a knave, about making a choice of or courage, a knight, about a relationship, then queen, and about a decision, choose a king. For example, if the querent is seeking a job, the Knave of Wands could be the card to choose. This card, once chosen, does not appear in the divinatory spread anymore, but will be very useful for helping the querent to better understand the settings of his own question and the problem that he is about to face. Then proceed to draw a card from each deck of the virtues, the elements, and the zodiac arcana. The virtues card indicates a quality of the querent that can be useful. For example, if hope is drawn, the querent must give space to his own optimism and not be discouraged by difficulties or a failure. The card of the elements indicates the attitude of querent must assume. For example, if the fire card is drawn, the querent must be aggressive and passionate, concrete and balanced. If instead the earth card is drawn, emotional and adaptable, with water, and lucid and rational with air. The card of the zodiac arcana indicates the way in which the outside environment, persons, occasions, and situations will be influencing the querent. Sagittarius, for example, could indicate the person's presence of hidden opportunities, while Capricorn might suggest physical and material obstacles that can be overcome with perseverance. Continuing with the reading, 3 cards are drawn from the traditional arcana and are interpreted as follows. Past, the causes and motives that have led to current situation. Present, the current situation, and the future, the most likely development of the current situation. Finally, 3 cards are drawn from the numerical cards deck. These give an idea of the positivity or negativity of the situation and of how it is evolving. 3 cards of the same suit means, depending on which suit, indicates strong positivity or negativity. 2 cards of one suit and 1 card or another, depending on the suits drawn, a situation that is evolving from a condition represented by the suit with 2 cards towards a different suit, 1 represented by the suit of the 3rd card. For example, if there are 2 cards with wands and 1 with pentacles, it is a problematic situation that is becoming a happy one. When all 3 cards are of different suits, a confused situation with both positive and negative aspects. So this was the Minchiate insight, and thank you for watching if you're still here. So I thought I would give you a better insight because not a lot of us can get our hands on this deck. So not a lot of us maybe want this deck, but it is good to know. Thank you for watching. Bye.